So Dave, let's start with a couple of funny stories. Before we got on stage, this is a really funny story. So Dave and I have known each other for a few years now. He's a Miamian, and we're very proud to have him here in our city. And so when I got up this morning, I thought to myself, what am I gonna wear? I'm interviewing Dave, I gotta dress like Dave. You know what I mean? This is a cool conference, a tech conference. And Dave's usually, as you saw in the video, kind of dressed down and casual, whatever. And so I get back there, I'm wearing a t-shirt, I'm wearing, my clothes, and he's like suited up. He looks like $1 million. I'm like, no, Dave, you look like $1 million. I look like $19.99. So
you just said you were trying to dress like me.
That's true.
$19.99. Yeah, I mean, I'm in pizza reviews when I'm dressed in a t-shirt, not in a conference. But yeah, I was surprised not to see you in a sport coat.
So of course I went and very quickly resolved the situation. The second thing that I think is really cool and unique about him is he's a person of his word. And so he was invited tonight to be on Jimmy Fallon's show and said no to be here with you guys today. So why don't we give him a round of applause?
I will never get that invite again.
He's probably right.
Definitely not.
I have a similar Joe Rogan story. So Dave, you took what was at a time sort of a small blog and you turned it into a media empire with one of the most loyal audiences out there. When was the moment that you realized that Barstool wasn't just a media company, but had transformed into a movement?
So that would we started in 2004. I would say 2010 was Barstool took a long time. It was no overnight success story. It was very slow. I always say brick by brick. But we did a little music concert tour in 2010 called Stoolapalooza. I'm from Boston. We left downtown Boston, went to neighboring colleges, and I had no idea what to expect. We showed up on these campuses, and there were signs hanging in the windows, people chasing the buses. Very excited that we were there, and that was the first time it clicked. I probably wouldn't have to get a normal 9 to 5. It's like there's something going on here that is great for us, and we have a stronger base than I thought.
Yeah, there was something viral happening there. I did channel my best Boston green here for you.
I like that. I like that.
I brought it.
The Heat are kind of in shambles.
That hurts. It's painful.
I still root for all Boston teams. I do. Miami people get on me for that, but you got to stay true to your.
You got to stay true to your. Stay true to your home. Listen, even if for some God knows what reason I was ever having to live in Boston, I would certainly root for the Heat. So you're a guy who bets big, whether it's sports, whether it's business, whether it's life. What's the boldest business decision that you've ever made, and what did you learn from it?
I don't know if there's a singular thing. I've just really believed in Barstool and what we were doing. If I had to point to one probably moment, and it wasn't so much even bold, but probably 3 or 4 years into Barstool, we weren't making any money, and I took another job because I just couldn't exist. It was a sales job. At lunch of this sales job, I left. I never came back because I believed in what Barstool was doing, and I knew if I wanted to give Barstool a chance to be successful, it needed all my attention. It needed 110% to what I was doing. So that's probably that moment where it's like, you know what, I'm not going to give up on Barstool is probably the boldest, if you want to call it bold, but the best decision I made during the course of the business.
How scary was it when you did that?
I had a 9 to 5. It felt good. It was almost like and it's very easy. For an entrepreneur, a lot of times I think the hardest thing is sticking with your guns and staying true and blocking out, because a lot of people will be like, you're not going to make it. You're going to fail. It's impossible. And most businesses, truthfully, do fail. So how do you stay with it? And there's almost like the social norm of get a job, go back into the workforce. And for me, once I just committed, refocused on Barstool, it was almost a relief. Like, okay, you know what? If this doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I'm not going to go down until I'm kicking and screaming. They're dragging me away for this thing. So it was more relief than anything else.
So you've essentially redefined sports. You blend entertainment, unfiltered content, and fan engagement in a way that the traditional media never could. What do you think is the future of sports and digital media? Where does it go from Barstool? What's the next iteration? What's sort of the next evolution?
I think what social media, the internet has done, and companies like Barstool, but even beyond Barstool, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, it's let personalities get their own voice out. And even if you're paying attention to like Sports Center today, like Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James are fighting like very publicly. Like they're talking about what it would be like if they actually fought each other, you know, and they're really going at each other. That's new. Like you couldn't, 10 years ago.
I can't see Michael Jordan doing that.
No, 10 years ago, like a commentator on ESPN isn't talking about throwing punches at the best player. So it's just totally changed the way the media landscape works. And I don't know if that's a credit or it has anything to do with us. It's much more Barstool-y. It's much more like if you and I are behind a curtain talking like, hey, who do you think would beat each other up? LeBron, like now it's on the main channels. They're actually talking how people talk at a bar. So, and the internet's a great equalizer. It lets everybody get their voice out.
What's the over-under in the number of rounds that...
I'd be a Stephen A. guy. I've hated LeBron since he was here in Miami and Cleveland. But I don't think it would last very long. LeBron's a beast.
So you've been quite outspoken about why Florida is the place to be. We saw you on the video extolling the virtues of our incredible weather. And whether it's tax, climate, lifestyle, or just getting away from the craziness that's happening up north, what is it about Miami and Florida that sort of energizes you and that makes you excited about being here?
Yeah, the weather's great. I mean, I don't want to toot your own horn, but we've known each other for a couple of years, and I come from Boston. I ran for mayor of Boston.
Did you really? I didn't know that.
I was so fed up with the way they were treating local business. Very anti-business, tough to get anything done. Since I've known you, you've always been, and I heard them say it in the intro, like, how can I help? Pro-business, pro-entrepreneur. That doesn't happen in every city. And forget the weather and all the great stuff. It's a welcome change as somebody who knows how hard it is to build a business. It's harder when the city is kind of against you. So it's very welcoming to business.
You know, for me, it's very natural, and I just can't think of another way. I can't understand how a city can be, or a government can be against you instead of for you. It's supposed to serve you and work for you. So based on the time that you've been here, do you think that Miami lives up to the hype, or do you think we still have a long way to go?
No, I think it's great. Weirdly, for me, my company, because we thought about putting our headquarters here, one of Miami's, South Florida's biggest benefits to me was one of the biggest detriments. The weather and the nightlife. I have all these young kids. I'm like, they're not going to work. Like, it's a lot easier to wake up at 8 a.m. in New York City when it's cold and rainy and no one's outside anyways. Here, it's like, are my guys going to do anything if we relocate? But if you can get past that, I love it. And for me, it's perfect. But yeah, almost the biggest thing I love is the biggest detriment, because I want my guys in the office working, not at 11 partying.
Or 12 or 10. So that sort of like no BS anti-establishment culture that you have at Barstool, I think it fits well with our city. How do you see sort of the value set, synergy between Barstool and Miami?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of synergies. I mean, if you look at Barstool, I come, again, from Boston. Miami is far more diverse city than Boston, yet been welcomed with open arms, and a lot of people walking down the street want to be part of it, want to help. Very similar. Everyone's just trying to make their mark. It's a city where everyone's trying to make their mark, which is what Barstool really did. It's like you come into a world that you're kind of not necessarily like mainstream media, and you got to carve your place out, and everyone's doing that here.
I feel like we have a lot of hustle. Like, we're a city that, people underestimate because of the reputation of partying and all that, how hard everybody here works, how passionate they are about what they do.
And I'll say there's always something going on here. I mean, whether it's this, Bitcoin, you name it, conventions, like every single week, the banners change, and there's a new big event, and with those events brings all sorts of business with it.
I think Miamians also are very loyal, and one of the things you've created which is I think unique about Barstool, is sort of the loyalty of your customers, of your listeners, of your followers. what would you attribute that to, and sort of what is the secret from your perspective of creating that brand loyalty?
To me, it's just being authentic, and the Barstool readers, fans, whatever you want to call them. I've been telling our story now for over 20 years, and they were with me when it was just me handing out newspapers on the side of a street outside of the subway, screaming at people, hey, take Barstool Sports. So every day they've been following, and they know I haven't changed. So if you're just true to yourself and you don't try to pretend to be something you're not, you establish goodwill and trust, and it's all about trust. You can't have it if you're not authentic.
And I think, frankly, today, I was blown away by the fact that, I've been in public service for 15 years, and I've had people cancel on me. And the fact that you didn't cancel and said, hey, this might have been a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you, and you're here. It just, to me, that's the long game. Like, yes, agree.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even say that's the long game. You don't ask for a ton, and you asked me this months ago, so it's like I put on the calendar, done deal. But that's always, it would be more a red flag if somebody, and by the way, I know if I told you, you probably would have been like, do it. I would never put anybody in that position. I'm happy to be here. I was just kind of busting you a little bit.
No.
And man, like I said, if my house falls in the ocean, you may get a phone call. Remember that Fallon thing?
It's all good. So I've seen you, I've had an opportunity to spend some time with you in sort of the business side, how you look at partnerships, how you look at deals. And obviously you're very well known for selling Barstool and then buying it back for $1. So, in terms of how you look at and how you process making big decisions, is it, because I've seen some of it, I've gotten a little bit of an inside glimpse. Is it instinct? Is it looking at the numbers? Or is it sort of a mixture of both in terms of analyzing these opportunities?
I would say it's a mixture.
Yeah.
Numbers obviously matter. People matter. People is most important to me. If I'm not comfortable with the person I'm sitting next to, there's no amount of money that I would do a deal with. I guess if someone's like, here's $1 billion, you're out of the company, then I don't have to worry about it. But if I have to work with these people, I have to like you. I have to trust you. For better or worse, I almost formed that opinion within 3 minutes of meeting. Somebody's like, I like this person. I trust them. And then once you get to that, it's like, all right, can we make the numbers or whatever? But I think business, almost everything is people. It's like, I mean, if you look at our company, Barstool, I almost have the same people who have been with me now for close to 20 years. I think it's, if somebody said, give us an endorsement of Dave Barstool, it's the same people. Day one, day two, they're all still there. And that says a lot.
Yeah, I think the adage, you can't do a good deal with a bad person or a bad deal with a good person, it's totally been true in my life. When we do deals as a city, they're, very extensively papered. You got lawyers all over the place. And I've seen, deals that are big deals that are done with people that are not good people. And they end up a disaster, and the reverse is also true.
And if you have something good and you say, no, the feeling's not right, another deal will come. I think a lot of times maybe people think it's like, if I don't take this, right.
So one of the things I think that characterizes this moment is, you called it authenticity. I think there's a second piece to it, which is sort of being unfettered, right? Like not being scared, right? To express yourself in a way that people might find controversial. So, what are moments or a mindset that you think, or maybe times you think you pushed it too far?
There's been very few of those where I feel like we've pushed it too far. A thing that I think sometimes maybe people misinterpret or misconstrue about me, I'm not out courting controversy. We started as a little blog newspaper that nobody knew, and it's like Barstool Sports is literally supposed to be talk amongst your friends as you do as a bar. And I never thought necessarily people would care. So, for whatever reason, whatever I say seems to create some sort of emotion, but I'm not doing it on purpose. And I think, again, going back to the story, people have followed me for a long time, kind of know where I'm coming from. And I've always said it. You don't have to love everything I say. You don't have to agree with everything I say. Using politics, which you're familiar, one of the things, and I've told you this before, I despise in our world how you generally know the answer to a question before it's asked just by like your political affiliation.
Yeah.
I hate that. Like there's things
Pigeonhole.
there's things that cross and you should. So I think I say something and half the people hate me, and then those same people turn around, they like me based on the next thing I said.
Which
but
is absurd.
just be true to yourself. And our audience has always had my back, which is great. They followed for 20 years. So I've always known that. Like, you know what? If these people don't like me, these people don't like me. The people who support Barstool have always had our back, whether they agree with what I say or not. You can agree to disagree.
So I help run an organization with 4,500 employees, acquiring talent, choosing talent, cultivating talent, and helping develop talent is something you've done exceptionally well. Helping people create a personality and sort of build a following. And because of that, you've inspired tremendous loyalty from those people. How do what's sort of the secret sauce to finding talent? Because I think it's frankly the hardest thing to do, right? Because you can have a great resume. I've had people with great resumes who are terrible, and people with a resume that doesn't stand out, and they're just phenomenal, right? Head down, work hard, like you said. No, they're not asking for credit. How do you identify talent? How do you cultivate that talent? How do you keep them so loyal to you?
Yeah, it's certainly a very difficult thing to do. When Barstool started, the internet was, if you said a blog, a lot of people would have kind of been like, what is that? I don't even know what that is. So we were at a spot where in the media world, you go to school for media, you come up through a network. We didn't look at the world like that. If you were interesting, we'd give you a shot and let you do it. And I just look for people maybe who do things I haven't seen before, and we don't tell them what to do. We just throw resources. Hey, go do you, be you. It's almost like a band label model in a way. For every success, for every Alex Cooper or Pat McAfee or Dan Katz or people like that, or Wallow and Gilly, there's people you may not have heard. But it's always sort of been like a Saturday Night Live model. Like, we want to build you into stars. And if you go make $60 million from Spotify or $100 million from ESPN, good for you. Like, happy for you. And for us, for the next person, that's a selling point for us. It's like, look at all Jenna Marbles, Alex, McAfee. Look what we can build. So it plays. It helps each other. And I want all our people to be successful. I really do. It means we're successful.
Yeah, I think it creates a pipeline too, right? So Miami's a sports town, as you know.
Is it?
It's a sports town, man. Come on. It's a sports town. Maybe not as long and historic as Boston, but does Boston have a Formula One?
I think we actually tried to. It got canceled because of they couldn't get the permits or something around.
That sounds like a Boston story.
That sounds about right. I think we signed the contract, got blown up.
What do you think is sort of the next iteration of customer experience, a fan experience in terms of what you see happening in sports and entertainment, that sort of vanguard?
Well, I mean, I think Miami's great. Like we were talking, they have UFC coming here, and Miami's a great event city. Big events are certainly prime for Miami, and the Super Bowl's here, and Miami's a destination city.
World Cup.
Yeah, World Cup, F1.
World Cup, yeah.
People want to come here.
But in terms of just general sports, what do you think sort of the experience, right? Like, obviously you're seeing, for example, gaming is blowing up, right? Like worldwide. Things that are much more virtual and interactive. Like, is that where you think sports is going? Or do you think, like, how does baseball survive? I hate to say, like, because baseball to me is like struggling, right?
Yeah, so this is a little bit maybe of my personality. I don't get involved in things I don't know. So I grew up, I love baseball, I love football, I love basketball, hockey. I'm a core four guy. I'm not a soccer guy. I look at gaming. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I can't, it's like everyone's like, you guys should do gaming. It's like, I don't get it. So, I don't know what baseball is going to do. It's too slow. They're trying to change rules, pitch count, things like that. But then you look at like the World Baseball Classic and people are going absolutely bananas for it. So the world appeal is still there. Japan, crazy for it, but the U.S. has to do things to keep up with these other sports, and attention spans are like that now.
So we were talking backstage about you sort of metamorphosizing from pizza judging to Cuban sandwich judging.
Yeah, that was pitched.
We didn't think the market was big enough.
Yes,
right?
facts.
So in terms of pizza judging, what town hands down wins? So now we're not talking about pizza. We're talking about the towns that serve pizza overall, aggregate. And is Miami up there, or should we be worried?
Miami actually absolutely sneaky has pretty good pizza. There's some real.
Why sneaky?
Well, you wouldn't think of it, right? You wouldn't think Miami, Italians run around making great pizza, but 11th Street pizza's good. Miami Slice is good.
There you go.
The new Pepe's,
But you got the cheesesteak there.
Mr. O1 is good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mr.
so
O1
no,
too.
there is definitely good pizza in Miami, surprisingly so. The best pizza in the world is New Haven, Connecticut. Just the best.
Just is.
Like, people go there just to take pizza. Now, Miami has a lot of things.
Has anybody ever gotten a 10? Is that like a...
No, you can't. It's like figure skating. What are you going to do if something's better? So you can't give out the perfect 10.
Gotcha.
Miami has a lot of things.
What's the highest rating you've ever given out?
9.6 maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, New Haven.
Describe it for me.
Well, I like pizza that looks sort of burned, very crispy.
Sort of burned, but not actually burned.
Yeah, when you bite it, it crunches. There's crust flying everywhere. A Beats. If you see anything called a Beats, that's New Haven style. There's one in Del Rey, I believe, and one other in Miami, but that's my favorite style.
Does it have to be good takeout versus 20 minutes, an hour after the next day, that kind of thing?
That varies. I try to do it all the same. Try to get it right from the oven. I mean, takeout. If you get delivery, it's not going to be as good.
So you're a man of the people. And as a man of the people, what's your advice to people who come to Miami? What's a sort of Dave Portnoy night out in the town in Miami look like?
Wow. So I'm a little older now.
So am I.
Yeah, it's not as...
I feel you.
It's not as crazy as it was. I mean, I became
18 years married, so I'm like, I get in my 8-sleep bed, that's cool. I put
Same. So we were going through restaurants. I love the restaurant. That's another thing. The restaurant scene in Miami is spectacular.
We're bringing it there.
Yeah, it's real. Like Casa Tua, I love, one of my favorite places. I live right around Mandolin, great.
Yep.
Nido is a little town. So I'm just going to dinner, and hopefully I'm in bed by 8. So I'm not the super nightlife.
So you're wake up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning guy?
No, I mean.
Are you in the gym by 3:30? Is that what? Are you
I keep making sure my shirt's not pulling apart.
Are you calling Mark Boston guys? Hey, I'm here at 4 o'clock in the morning.
No, I'm getting
municipal brand.
No, I'm thinking about getting Ozempic. I'm not in the gym. I'm serious. So I'm making sure my shirt's not stretching here.
So you've built these incredible brands. What's the next big brand that you're working on, if you can share with us? Or what are the next big ideas you got?
We just created a JV company to create basically a internet invitational golf tournament, which I think will be very big. So the golf is huge on YouTube. So, but not necessarily the best golf.
Golf is huge on YouTube. Okay.
Huge.
Okay.
Not like pros, like guys who love playing or women who may not be the best. So you even it all out and create a tournament with very entertaining golfers. That's something we're working on. We got a bunch of different podcast things. I never know what's next. And people always ask me that, but if you asked me 3 years ago, I'm not sure I knew TikTok existed. Yeah. So in our world, technology, the best advice I can give or what we do is just stay nimble, because I don't know what the next thing is. Right. But when it hits, hopefully we're ready for it.
And if you were to start from scratch, what would be, I'm sure there's a lot of people in the audience thinking, how can I make the next Barstool or the next big thing? What would you be focused on?
Doing something you love and not focused on money. That would be that Barstool. I just want to wake up and enjoy what I did. That was really what my goal in life was once I was post-college. I don't want to wake up, work for someone else and hate it. So if I can find something I'm interested in, I don't care how much money I'm making, I'll enjoy my life. And I think that, there are different businesses. People do business plans, all this. I just wanted to wake up, work for myself, and be happy. And I know it sounds simplistic, but that would be the advice I would give.
So I get this question all the time. How do I have such a good tan? How do you have such a good tan?
I'm out in my backyard all the time.
I love it. And so I asked you this in the back too. How often are you on a plane versus?
So people may be familiar with this 183 thing we got here in Florida, where I got to be here 183 days.
Yeah.
Almost all the others I'm traveling for work. Like tomorrow I'm on my way to Nashville.
Yeah.
Week after that, San Antonio. We follow the the sports calendar pretty closely, like Final Fours in San Antonio. So Super Bowl will be a Super Bowl, major events, lots of travel, lots of business. But again, if young Dave pinched himself and was like, you got to jump on a plane to go to the Final Four, that's your job, he'd be like, sign me up 1,000,000 out of 1,000,000 times.
I think what you said is so fundamental, which is you got to do what you love, enjoy what you do, but you're a grinder. You got to grind.
Yep.
Right? Like there's this saying in the churches, they see the glory, but they don't know the real story.
Yep.
Right? And they see,
and they go hand in hand because it's
100%.
a lot easier to grind when you like what you're doing.
No
when
doubt.
you don't, it's a lot easier to quit.
So let's talk a little bit about Peaches. Is she nibbling on the bone to the city, or like what's going on?
She has the day that you dedicated. She got the bone to the city. And we've had some pretty big personalities, stars come through Barstool. She's the biggest. People love her. She was born to be a star. We've raised millions of dollars for rescue dogs. She has her own drink coming out, which I think will be like the most popular drink in the country when it launches. So she's great. We got her brother, Pete the Beagle. They're best friends, and they're superstars. And I'm very happy. I spend a lot of my time with them.
You know that I've actually had people tell me, can I get a bone too? Can my dog get a bone? This is like, it became a thing.
Yeah, we got it framed in the house.
I've given out a few bones.
Yeah.
Bones to the city. That's hilarious. So listen, it's been a great conversation. Thank you so much for spending the time with us, and we appreciate your sacrifice, everything that you do, and sharing your thoughts with our audience. It's wonderful.
Happy to do it. Thanks for the invite.
Thanks, my friend.
Yep.